to Play That Rock and Roll, where we take a look back at the albums and artists of the classic rock era. So it's been 6 years since I released one of my more popular videos, the Top 10 Classic Rock Christmas Songs. In the countdown, I celebrated iconic and beloved Christmas songs by John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen, and Jimmy Buffett. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. I stand by it. Today's video is a bit of a sequel to that list. This time I want to dive a little deeper and explore some Christmas music that not everyone knows. I mean, anyone can recommend Wonderful Christmas Time, but you can just find that on the radio too. Today we're going a bit more obscure. I'm going to present 10 lost gems of classic rock Christmas music that you should definitely consider adding to your collection. And my criteria is simple. 1, as far as I know, none of these songs were hit singles. In fact, most weren't even released as singles. And 2, these are not songs you'll hear on terrestrial radio. Spotify maybe, but these songs just aren't mainstream enough for the air. Sorry, no Jimmy Buffett today. So let's count down my top 10 obscure Christmas songs by classic rock artists. Hit it!
Time stands still at Christmas. Always will.
Number 10.
Christmas.
You know what I haven't discussed enough on this show? Glam rock.
So here it is, Merry Christmas.
Christmas and glam rock go great together. This song by Slade was a huge hit, and T-Rex got in on the action too. There's something about how the bright lights and theatrics of the Christmas season are just embodied perfectly by rambunctious glam bands. I did not go with old T-Rex today, but instead... This is The Sweet, who are known for songs like Ballroom Blitz, Little Willie, and the world-conquering Fox on the Run, which I imagine my younger viewers only know from this. Kids. Anyway, today we're looking at the band cover an old song that came out of the whole twist craze of the 1960s. Here's the original. Oh gosh, this is awful. Much closer to Pat Boone than Chubby Checker, so I guess I'm glad The Sweet turned a piece of crap like this into something a bit more lively. Number 9. Christmas isn't all presents and parties. Some people spend the holidays at home, by themselves, maybe even drinking.
'Cause I drink alone.
Which is totally fine as long as you're listening to George Thorogood.
Let's have a rock and roll Christmas.
There's not much to say about this song, except that it is very on brand for George Thorogood. He released it in the 80s, but it's a huge throwback to the sounds of Chuck Berry and Elvis. In fact, he name-checks both of those guys in the song. Big on guitar and big on the sax. Rock and Roll Christmas is some truth in advertising if I've ever heard it. Number 8. This is Billy Squier, who was a rising star in the early 80s. Like many artists at that time, Squier had a lot of friends over at the then brand new MTV. And during Christmas of 1981, he went down to MTV Studios and recorded a massive holiday sing-along with the entire crew of the network.
Christmas is the time to say I love you.
MTV VJ Martha Quinn has said this was her favorite moment from working at the station, as it was a classic television highlight from the network's early days. Ironically, MTV would go on to derail Squier's career just a few years later when he released a disastrous, cringe-inducing video for the song Rock Me Tonight.
And I went in to see it, and I hated it. And I was there with management, and I was there with the record company, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I remember someone at the label saying, "Don't worry about it, as long as it's a smash." And I wanted to believe it. You know, I was like, having no idea how devastating this thing could be.
MTV made a lot of careers throughout the 1980s, but like with Billy here, it broke some as well. Hopefully, Rock Me Tonight didn't ruin every MTV memory for Billy, as his Christmas song is a charming little number, and this video is a great look back at the halcyon days of early music television. Number 7.
Merry Christmas, baby. You surely treat me nice.
3 of the 10 songs from my original Top 10 Christmas list came from the charity record A Very Special Christmas, which was released in 1987. Because I leaned so heavily on it in my earlier list, I decided to disqualify it for consideration today. But I will be discussing music from later entries in this series, as the success of A Very Special Christmas would eventually lead to 9 sequels, if you will. One of my favorites was A Very Special Christmas Live, the 4th installment, which was essentially a 1998 benefit concert recorded in Washington, D.C. Eric Clapton plays on several tracks, and in my opinion, his moment in the spotlight is the high point.
I hear sleigh bells ring. I haven't heard a word you and me.
I've said before I'm not a big fan of Clapton's blues music, but something about this works for me. I like the live concert setting, and I gotta say, blues definitely has a place on any Christmas playlist, as the holiday season elicits all kinds of emotions from people. And sometimes, a sleepy blues song is the perfect thing to go along with a cup of hot chocolate while watching the snow fall. Number 6. I got a lot of comments complaining that I included Bob Seger's Little Drummer Boy on my earlier list, and not someone else's. And I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
Our finest gifts we bring, ba-da-ba-bum-bum, to lay before the king, ba-da-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum.
This is how you do a good cover record. Joan takes a rather boring and uninspired original song and injects it with some rock and roll. In fact, the best part of this song is the last minute or so, when she stops singing entirely and just jams on guitar with the rest of the Blackhearts. Number 5. Okay, I might lose a couple of you on this next one. Let me introduce you to a band called Timbuk 3.
I'm doing alright, getting good grades, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Timbuk 3 has 2 primary members. A married couple of hippy-dippy folk music types who write a lot of protest music. See, the bright future they're singing about here is actually supposed to be the blinding flash of a nuclear bomb.
It was an ironic song that sounded very positive and upbeat, but was actually about nuclear destruction.
They took that same sense of irony and sarcasm to their Christmas song. Normally, this song's lyrics and message would be a turnoff for me. It's about how there's too much violence and toys and media meant for children. Oh boy, all I want for Christmas is a lecture. Great. That said, there is still something that draws me to the song. I think it's the production and melody. The song is grounded and somber, which can be a nice change from all the bubbly stuff you only hear on the radio. Christmas music and protest songs are about as far apart as genres can get, but they kinda make it work here. Plus, the whole message of wanting less violence on TV and more peace on Earth isn't the worst thing to write a song about, so why not give it a chance? Number 4. I don't have a lot of information about this song. It's an early 80s release from a short-lived band fronted by Michael Sweet, who would later go on to be a somewhat popular singer-songwriter in the alternative scene of the 1990s. Kind of a poor man's Michael Stipe. The Buzz of Delight was an early project of Sweet's, and this little song is perfect for a Christmas party. Honestly, I wish I had more to say, but this band was very short-lived, and Michael Sweet's later career didn't strike me as particularly interesting, so I guess I just recommend this song. But hey, if you like it too, you might find something else you like if you dig a little deeper. Let me know if you do. Number 3. You know who I didn't expect to be talking about today? Mickey Thomas.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face.
That's Mickey Thomas singing in a group called Starship, which he co-fronted with Grace Slick. If you saw my Grace Slick retrospective, you might remember I wasn't very nice about Mickey, but I was probably too hard on him. Truth be told, there's a few of his Starship hits that I rather enjoy, and I totally skipped over the band he was a part of previous to him joining the Jefferson Starship family tree. In the mid-70s, Mickey sang with the Elvin Bishop group, most famous for this song. The same year this album came out, they also dropped a Christmas single. This is fantastic! The band took one of Christmas's dreariest, sleepiest, slowest songs and turned it into something danceable. I mean, seriously, every other version of this song is exactly the same.
Silent Night.
Mickey Thomas and the Elvin Bishop group were having none of that, and I salute them for it. Again, a great way to do a cover. Grab an old stale song and inject it with something new and lively. Well done. Number 2. Not a lot of big names on this list, but that's about to change, as this next song is from an iconic artist that I miss more and more each time I hear his music.
Everybody's singing, all the bells are ringing out, and it's Christmas all over again.
Since I'm listing obscure songs today, I was torn about including this one. See, it was released as the first track on a very special Christmas 2, which sold almost as many copies as the original. But it was not released as a single, and I've never heard it on the radio. So I'm counting it, and I'm putting it at number 2, not just because it's a great song, but it's also an original song. Let's be real, the vast majority of Christmas music is uninspired covers or half-hearted originals trying to mimic the Christmas sound. That's why Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is so beloved. It's an original, not some song that's been recycled 100 times. Now, if we're talking about the best ever original Christmas songs, I'm not saying Tom's here is as accessible as Mariah's, but it should at least be included in the conversation.
Christmas is a rockin' time.
Simply put, it's a top-notch Christmas song from a top-notch artist. And finally, number 1. I cannot believe how good this song is.
And there's a turkey in the wings. He doesn't dance and he can't sing. One Christmas catalog, too many.
Maybe it's just me, but this song works on every level imaginable. From the tight beat, to that little synth riff, to the vocals, to how the song goes Christmas to Christmas, to this little drum machine bit, to the angelic background vocals. To even the dang music video. This is a perfect song. I don't know who this Captain Sensible is, but I'll be taking a very close look at his catalog. And if you like 80s New Wave, you probably should too. This is my favorite Christmas song, full stop.
Help me out, Santa!
Yeah, my favorite doesn't come from Tom Petty or Bruce Springsteen, not the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, not this album, not this one, none of it. But instead, a weird British new wave act.
One Christmas catalog for you.
But how about you? Post your favorites in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and for a great 2018. And from all of us here at Play That Rock and Roll, happy holidays, and we'll see you next year.